You're live with Stephen Sackur on BBC World News. Celebrity sleaze is exposed in South Korea. This K-pop star and a fellow band member are jailed for a string of sex offences, including gang rape. They had shared videos of their attacks online. Fans of the K-pop superstar Goo Hara are calling for more to be done to help the victims of so-called spy camera crimes in South Korea. The singer and actress took her own life earlier this week. She had spent the last year in a public court battle claiming her ex-boyfriend had threatened to release a sex tape of the couple. Our Seoul correspondent Laura Bicker has this report.
28-year-old Eun-Joo Lee took her own life just weeks after finding out a male colleague had secretly filmed her in the nurse's changing room.
Last year, yeah.
She suffered from frequent nightmares. She felt he was still watching her.
You can still kill someone without using weapons. The impact of this crime can differ from person to person. Some might be able to pull through. Others, like my daughter, might not.
Eun-Joo's parents are furious that the culprit was sentenced to 10 months in prison.
People don't take it seriously. Even me, I used to think something like this can be manageable. But when it became my issue, it felt huge.
The sentencing is so weak.
Tens of thousands of fans of K-pop superstar Goo Hara agree with them. The singer and actress took her own life earlier this week. She'd spent a year battling a high-profile case, claiming her ex-boyfriend was threatening to release a sex tape. He was given a suspended sentence. Her supporters started a petition calling for tougher penalties for all offenders. Illicit filming, or so-called spy cam crimes, are endemic in South Korea. Most of those found guilty just receive a fine.
Yes, the sentencing is too lenient. It's because there are just too many cases. Because it's so prevalent, the courts don't take it seriously. And also because men do not experience it.
So we've come to this motel room to show you just how easy it is to hide a spy camera. It's this right on top of the television. This one has been made to look like a shirt button. They come in all shapes and sizes. The footage from this can be uploaded onto your phone in seconds, and within minutes it's on the internet. Campaigners say only tougher sentences will act as a real deterrent, but there is hope that things are changing. This is the hope of Eun-Joo's parents as they prepare for a battle in court.
I'm going to go till the end, all the way to the Supreme Court.
Laura Bicker, BBC News, Seoul.
Hello, this is Impact, bringing you all the day's top stories, and later in the programme, more news in depth. I'm Geetha Gurumuthy. The dark side of South Korean celebrity. This K-pop star and a bandmate are jailed for gang raping unconscious women. The attacks were filmed and shared on social media. It's part of a growing scandal surrounding the pop music industry. Hello, welcome to the programme. We're live for the next 45 minutes and you can give me your views at Geetha Gurumuthy. Now, two of Korea's biggest pop stars have been sentenced for gang raping unconscious women. Jung Jun-young and Choi Jong-hoon have been sentenced to 5 and 6 years in prison for their crimes. Jung Jun-young also filmed the attacks and circulated them online. It's one of a number of sex and abuse scandals to rock South Korea in recent years. Laura Bicker is in Seoul.
Well, a number of women have been waiting for this sentencing because it was such a high-profile case. The judge in the case said that especially Mr. Jung, who rose to prominence as a kind of TV star, he won a talent show and then became a K-pop star. He said that his victims were drunk, unable to resist. He filmed them nude and having sex, then spread it on a group chat room. He said he treated the women as a tool for pleasure. He went on to say that he can't imagine the pain the victims who might have had who found out later, because these women were raped while drugged, while unconscious. And when it comes to Mr. Che, who was part of the boy band FT Island, he was sentenced to 5 years for his part in raping unconscious women. But this is not an isolated incident. My team here in Seoul investigated earlier this year. What we found out was that rich, powerful men were prepared to pay up to sometimes 200, 300,000 to choose a woman in a club who they would have secretly drugged, taken to a nearby motel room where they would be raped. In fact, we were told by one club employee that he got requests for drugged or drunken women. In fact, the phrase that was used was "bring me zombies." Women have marched in Gangnam, the playground of K-pop, and throughout other parts of Seoul, calling for tougher sentences, for some kind of peace for the victims. However, a sentence of 6 years and 5 years, although it is still a sentence, many women are telling me on chat groups tonight that they feel it is still too lenient.
Laura Bicker there. Well, Sumin Hwang from the BBC's Korea Service is with me now. What is the wider reaction to the sentencing?
If you go online, there are so many comments people are very angry about how lenient the sentencing has been. The minimum sentencing for revenge porn is actually 3 years. For rape is actually 3 years. However, people are commenting on, you have to think about the victims. They have to live with the scars and the trauma for the rest of their lives, and yet the men get a very lenient sentencing. And if you go to the Blue House website, people are putting an online petition to calling for a tougher sentencing.
So are these sentences sort of indicative of general sentencing in rape cases, or was it that people feel that these two were given more lenient treatment than others?
Actually, this calling for a tougher sentencing for sex crime has been quite prevalent in South Korea, especially recently. Recently, we saw another South Korean K-pop star who has committed suicide, who looks like she's committed suicide, and she has also been involved in a spy cam scandal. She had filed a lawsuit against her ex-boyfriend who had filmed them having sex without a consent. And so all these cases have been piling up, and people are waking up in South Korea and calling that, look, what we have, the law system here, it does not justify the victim's trauma.
It's very, very difficult. It's clearly damaged the industry to a degree, I guess.
It has, but what is also indicative is the changing society of South Korea in a patriarchal society where women are also voicing up.
OK, Sumin Hwang, thanks very much indeed. Now, Iraq